Hi, I'm Dana from the Missoula Public Library, and I'm going to be telling you some fairy tales, the inside story. The first one is Goldilocks and the Three Pickles. There was a great big pickle and a middle-sized pickle, and what? There weren't pickles? Okay, then what were they? Chairs? No. Hair? Underwear? I'm not telling a story about three sizes of underwear. Oh, bears. Oh, okay. That's what you want. Now, Goldilocks was named Goldilocks because curly hair is sometimes called locks, which doesn't make any sense unless getting it tangled is like getting it all locked up. And also, it wasn't really gold colored. It was more a pale yellow, like butter. But nobody wants to be called Butterhead, so they called her Goldilocks instead. Now, Goldilocks was a curious child, which can mean she liked to go exploring, but can also mean that she didn't listen very well to her mom and dad. So one day, Goldilocks wanted to go for a walk in the nearby woods, and her mother said, "Okay, just don't wander off the path and don't walk into people's houses uninvited." Now, you might wonder why she needed to say that. It seems pretty obvious that you shouldn't walk into people's houses uninvited, but apparently Goldilocks had developed a bad habit. So, of course, good old Goldilocks. She said, "Okay, sure, whatever, see you later, Mommy-O," and she took off into the woods. Well, while this little discussion was going on, the bear family who lived in the house in the woods, that's what I said, a house. Bears lived in a house. And now you know something is up with this story. And there's more. You ready? The bear family wore clothes, and they had chairs and tables and beds, and they ate porridge. Porridge is what we would call oatmeal, and some kids would call it, "No way am I eating that, Grey Glop." So anyway, the bear family, great big Papa Bear, medium-sized Mama Bear, and pint-sized Baby Bear were just sitting down to a breakfast of porridge when Baby Bear cried out, "Ow, I butt my tongue!" It turns out the porridge was way too hot. So they decided to take a walk in the woods while it cooled down. And who should they meet but No, that would be a good story, but that's not what happened. What happened was, while the bears were out, good old Goldilocks, came upon the house. And she didn't just walk right in. What a good girl, right? Listening to her mama. No. What she did was she called out, "Hello," in a not very loud voice, and when nobody answered, then she walked right into the house. Oh boy. She smelled the porridge, and because she didn't mind gray food, she sat right down and she started to eat from the great big bowl. "Ow, ow, ow, too hot, I burn my tongue." It's too hot, so she shifted to the middle-sized bowl. "It's way too cold. Even if you like gray food, nobody likes cold gray food." So she shifted to the pint-sized bowl. Yep, you're right, you're way ahead of me. It was perfect, and she gobbled the whole thing up. Next, she thought she should try out the furniture, since that's what you do when you walk into somebody's house uninvited and you eat their breakfast. She tried the great big chair. She jumped up. "Ow, ow, ow, what is this thing made of? Rocks? Too hard." Then she tried the middle-sized chair. Whoa, she sank in so far, she almost touched the floor. Way too soft. Then she tried the pint-sized chair. Oh, perfect fit, except crash. Maybe she had been eating too much porridge because she broke the chair to pieces, and she collapsed on the floor. So exhausted from all that breakfast gobbling and chair breaking, she decided to go upstairs and try out the beds. Of course, what else is there to do after you've stolen food and broken furniture? Try out the beds. Good idea, Goldilocks. First, she tried the great big bed. Not again. Who was it in this family that liked their furniture made out of rocks? Too hard. Then she tried out the middle-sized bed. And another not again. Whoa, just like the middle chairs, it was so soft, she could barely get back out of it. Finally, she tried the pint-sized bed, and it was so perfect. Sound asleep and a wink. Meanwhile, the bear family had finished their walk, and they returned home for a nice breakfast of warm porridge. But when they sat down, Papa Bear looked at the messy spoon by his bowl, and he growled, "Somebody's been eating my porridge." Mama Bear looked at the messy spoon by her bowl, and she moaned, "Somebody's been eating my porridge." And Baby there just sat there with tears in his eyes, the injustice of it all. And he grumbled, "You think you have problems? Somebody's been eating my porridge and they cleaned the whole stupid bowl." Papa Bear stomped around angrily for a while and then decided to sit down, but when he looked at his chair, he growled, "Somebody's been sitting on my chair." And Mama Bear said, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair, and by the looks of it, almost sank to the floor." And Baby Bear said, "At least you still have a place to sit. Somebody decided to turn my chair into firewood." Said Papa Bear, taking a nap. And he marched upstairs, followed by Mama and Baby Bear. But before he even lay down, he muttered, "Not again. Somebody's been sleeping on my bed." And Mama Bear said, "And somebody's been sleeping in my bed, and it looks like they could hardly get back out of it." And Baby Bear just stood there frozen, looking down at his bed. "Are you kidding me?" he squeaked. "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed, and she's still there. And she's drooling on the pillow." With all that squeaking, Goldilocks woke up and, well, what would you do? If you woke up and you saw 3 hungry bears wearing clothes, staring angrily down at you, yep, that's what she did. "Ah!" she hollered, and she ran out of the room and down the stairs and through the woods, all the way back home. After Goldilocks stopped screaming, her mother said, "Did you have a nice walk, dear?" She should have said, "Did you have a nice time stealing food and destroying furniture?" Goldilocks was still breathing so hard she couldn't even talk. She just squeaked, "Bah, bah, bah, bah," which we can only hope meant, "But I won't ever do it again." And that is the story of Butterhead and the 3 pickles. But, yeah, well, you know what I mean. See you next time for another Fairy Tales, the Inside Story.